Okay, so what you need for this lesson is a whiteboard, a hundreds chart, and base 10 blocks. I do not have a hundreds chart nor base 10 blocks, but I do have this calendar, which is as close to a whiteboard as I could get. So we're just gonna make do. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you like your first graders. So, okay guys, we are going to do some thinking. I want you to turn your brains on, because today we're gonna get the strongest and the smartest brains around. Okay, I want you to pay attention with still bodies, raise your hand to speak, and please remember to give your classmates time to think. Okay, no blurting out. Remember, we want to give our friends time to think. Okay, now can someone please raise their hand and tell me what they know about adding 10 to a number? Any answer? They say something I praise or say it's a cool, because when they get something wrong we just say it's cool. Okay, what strategies has Miss B taught you? Do you remember any strategies Miss B has taught you when you add 10 to a number? They tell me what they remember about what they've already learned. Okay. What tools can you use in this room to solve a number plus 10? What's something in this classroom? Hopefully they say hundreds chart, because there's 300 charts in the classroom. Also, they could say number line. They have number line counters, which help them do small addition, not necessarily plus 10, but hopefully they would say number line, hundreds chart, maybe the blocks. Those would be good answers. Okay, great. Today we're going to practice adding 10 to any number. So, first thing I'm going to do is I am going to write 3 columns here on this board. So here we will have our number, then we'll be adding it always 10. We'll always be adding 10 to every number today. Okay, and then our answer will be our sum. So anytime you add 2 numbers together, you get a sum. Can you say sum? Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about, okay, so I'm supposed to have base 10 blocks on the table. Since I don't have those, I'm actually just going to draw it. So let's do our first number as 12. Okay, so 12 plus 10. So imagine we have our base 10 blocks. So I'm just going to draw a stick and 2 squares to represent our 12. Okay, so we have 12. Now, how do I add 10 in blocks? What do I add? They say a rod. Add another rod. Why do I add another rod? Because that's 10. Okay, great. Okay, so we added another rod to get 10. Now, what is our sum? What do we have all together here? And then they will say, hopefully, 22. Why do we have 22 now? What happened? So they say we added another rod, which is 2 10s, and we have 2 1s. Great. Did you see any changes in our ones place? Did you see anything change here in these 2 blocks? No. There were no changes. Okay, did you see any changes in our tens place? Yes, we added a 10. So basically I would just be asking, as I'm modeling, what did you notice? What's happening? What's happening to the ones? Because I was going to do this several times. So we'll just do 22 now that that's already drawn. Okay, using my fingers. Professional. Okay, anyway, so now we have a new number, 22 plus 10. So we have 22 here in our base 10 blocks. How do we add 10? Add another rod. Okay, so what did we do? We added another tens rod because we're adding 10. Now, how many do we have all together? 30, 3 tens, 2 ones, so our sum is 32. Okay, so again, what happened to the ones here? Nothing. Okay, great. What happened to the tens? We gained another. So, do you think maybe there's a rule or a pattern to what we're seeing? There it is. Okay, so hopefully the kids would then notice that the tens are only going up and the ones place is staying the same. Sorry, I'm looking at my lesson plan, so let's see. Okay, so, and then I was also, well, let's see, did I miss anything? And then I was gonna write out, actually, on my whiteboard, our rule is the tens place goes up one number, always, while the ones place stays the same. And show an example of, so let's do different numbers now. So let's do 68 plus 10. Which number is going to go up? The tens. Which number is going to stay the same? The ones. And maybe do that a couple of times so they really understand. Just kind of drill in that this number is going to change because 6 plus 1 is 7 and 8 plus 0 is 8. So I was going to write the rule out and just keep practicing this until I can tell it's clicking. Then I will move on to the guided practice. So for the guided practice, what I was going to do was give each student a paper hundreds chart, and then I was going to say, okay, now place your finger on the number 50. Can you find what's 10 more? And then if they weren't sure, or like, I know some were going to immediately go down to 60 on the hundreds chart, but some are still struggling. So I would say, okay, let's count on, by adding 10 together, let's count from 50. 50, 51, 52, and count to 10 till we get to 60. And then, let's see. Where are we now? Is there something you notice now that we've counted on to 10? Where did we land? And I'm hoping they're gonna notice that 50, we went right below it to 60, even though we counted 10 across. Then I was gonna say, okay, now put your finger on 80. Can someone raise their hand and find 10 more? How did you know that? And either they could explain, maybe they counted by 10 and they got to the number, or they understand the rule of on a hundreds chart, you just hop down from wherever you are, down 1 in the columns row to get 10 more. What are you guys noticing on your hundreds charts? We're going down in the same column every time to get 10. Does this always work? Yes, it does. And then the last thing in the guided practice I was going to say is turn and tell your partner, what is 57 plus 10? Use your hundreds chart to show them how you know. And they were going to turn and talk and show their partner what they know. And then for the end of my lesson, I was just going to be like, wow, you guys have been on fire. You've done great today. Before we switch, let's see what you know. Here I will check to see if you guys can solve any number plus 10. So at the end of the center rotation, because I'm doing mine in centers, so each student would be there, and I would be like, okay, Linda, I don't know, whoever, we would be on, I would have a hundreds chart that's like bigger and not on a piece of paper, and I would be like, okay, let's go to number 38 on the hundreds chart. Can you find 10 more than 38? And hopefully they would point right below it to 48 on the hundreds chart. And if they got it right, then I would give them a mystery motivator. They love those. It's like classroom dollars, I guess, just like a rewards that really motivate them. And if each student got that right, then I had an assessment checklist, and if they got it correct, they would get a check, and if at the end they didn't get it right, then they wouldn't get the check. And I think that's it. And then after both my lessons, 1 and 2, I would give them my assessment. So this was actually lesson 2. This is addition. My other lesson, lesson 1, was subtraction. So any number minus 10. And the goal is they're supposed to be going from the number 10 without counting. Like, I don't want them to go 67, 68, or 69. You know, I don't want them to count 10 up every time. They're supposed to see a pattern and know how to add 10 consistently to any number. So that's what I got. It's only like 10 minutes an explanation here pre-recorded, but if I had had students and they were answering, you know, all the questions, it would have easily been 20 minutes, especially with the model. So, or 30 minutes. I think our rotation was only 20 to 25 minutes though. So that's what I have. Thank you for listening to me, and I know it's like a weird virtual teach and like trying to do it without all the tools, but thank you for being patient and listening to me talk to myself for 11 minutes. And if you guys have any questions, I'll answer them. So thank you.